With a little over a week of baseball officially in the books, I'm going to take you through 6 players to either buy low or sell high on in your fantasy baseball leagues. Let's start off with my first buy low, and that's outfielder Jackson Chourio of the Milwaukee Brewers, who has been off to a slow start at the plate. Chourio is currently 10 for 36 with a 278 average, which is solid, but the counting stats have just not been there so far. He has just 1 homer, 3 runs, and no stolen bags through 8 games. However, if we're being honest, the Brewers have just gotten off to a slow start in general, and I'm confident that things will turn around rather quickly. Chourio is known as an across-the-board contributor, as he went 20-20 in his rookie season just last year. At 21 years of age, Chourio has a legitimate chance to reach both 30 homers and 30 steals this year. So far, by looking at his profile, nothing suggests that this cold stretch should last much longer. His bat speed, chase rate, and whiff rate are all similar to last season, and he's been crushing the ball early on with an average exit velocity of 93.6. I would strongly suggest buying low on Chourio as soon as possible because I highly doubt that the window will be open for too much longer. Next up is my first sell high, and it's one of the hottest hitters in the entire sport at the moment, and that's Eugenio Suarez of the Arizona Diamondbacks. Now let me preface by saying that I don't think what Suarez is doing at the moment is simply a flash in the pan. He had a big year last season too that saw him put up 30 homers and 101 ribbies. However, when I advocate to sell high on a player, I'm definitely emphasizing the high part. Typically during the first few weeks of the season, managers are quick to make judgments based on small sample sizes. If someone in your league believes that Suarez is a top 50 player after his week and a half of stellar performance, then I would look at moving him for that price. Keep in mind that Suarez has been a very streaky hitter throughout his entire career and one that can specifically be a major detriment to batting average at times. It was just 2 seasons ago after all that he only hit .232 with 22 homers and looked like a fringe option in a lot of leagues. The power will unquestionably be there for Suarez once again in 2025, but his value will also never be higher than it is right now. This takes me now to buy low number 2 on this list, and that's Alec Bohm of the Philadelphia Phillies. Bohm has been a very solid contributor over the past couple seasons as he's stabilized himself as a major RBI contributor while also being able to help out across the board. His average will likely sit around 280 and he has enough power to reach a 20 mark in 2025. So far though, Bohm has been incredibly unlucky to start the season even though his quality of contact metrics have been off the charts impressive. He has a .320 expected batting average compared to his actual .226 mark, and his average exit velocity sits at the 95th percentile. This is simply just a player who on the surface stats come nowhere close to his underlying numbers, which presents an awesome opportunity to buy low. He still hits in a prominent spot in the lineup, usually either in the 3 or 4 hole, and the lineup around him is also very, very strong. It's only a matter of time before the hits start dropping for Bohm, and I would be buying everywhere I can before that happens. If you've enjoyed the video thus far, dropping a like and smashing that red subscribe button would be greatly appreciated as it helps me continue making content just like this, which I will have constantly throughout the MLB season. Moving on to sell high number 2, I have starting pitcher Nathan Eovaldi of the Texas Rangers. Eovaldi has been around for a long while now and has built the reputation of being a fairly consistent pitcher from year to year. He usually carries an ERA in the high 3s with around a strikeout per inning playing on a solid ball club. To start off 2025, Eovaldi has been absolutely dominant to put it lightly. He first pitched a 6-inning gem of 2-run ball with 9 strikeouts against a tough opponent in the Boston Red Sox in his first outing. He then just followed that up with an even better performance, pitching a complete game shutout with 8 strikeouts. What made that start even more impressive was that it came in Cincinnati, which is known as one of the most hitter-friendly environments in all of baseball. It's important to note that Eovaldi typically starts the season really strong, holding his high velocity, but as the year goes on, he tends to wear out, the velocity drops, and so do his numbers. He's a solid pitcher that will certainly help your teams once again, but similar to Suarez, his price will likely never be higher than it is now. Heading over to buy low number 3, let's talk about catcher William Contreras of the Milwaukee Brewers, who couldn't hit water if he fell out of a boat at the moment. Let me make this very simple. William Contreras is still very easily the best catcher in fantasy baseball even despite his rough start. Sure, he only has 2 hits and is yet to even drive in a run, but we now have a 3-year track record for Contreras and we know how steady of a contributor he can be. This is a guy who just came off of a season that included 23 homers, 99 runs, almost double-digit steals, and a .281 batting average. Let me also remind you that this is a catcher, which makes those numbers even that much more valuable. Contreras is clearly just in a rut at the plate, and the underlying stuff doesn't look too good either, but it's so small of a sample that we can't be too worried. If anyone in your league no longer views him as the top catcher in the sport, then make sure you pounce on that at a discounted price. I can assure you that by season's end, the numbers will most definitely be there. Now it's time for my final sell high of the video, and that's none other than second baseman Brice Turang of the Milwaukee Brewers. Maybe this list should just entirely be Milwaukee Brewers at this point, but they have been a polarizing team to begin the year. This time, it's on the sell side though, as I've just never really been a believer in Turang's skill set. He's gotten off to a fast start, hitting .313 with 2 homers and a stolen base, but I just can't buy in at the moment. His calling card is obviously his speed, which saw him steal 50 bags in 2024, but beyond that, he's below average in every other aspect. He's been swapping between leadoff and the 9-hole to begin the year, but I think that the latter is more likely going forward. Turang's underlying numbers have never been impressive, and I just don't think he's a quality hitter beyond his speed. Speed is also significantly easier to find now with the rule changes, so I don't think you need to chase the steals with him. If you're able to move him for a top 100 player after a strong start, then I would do that in a heartbeat. And that concludes my 6 players who I think you should buy low or sell high on in your fantasy baseball leagues. Let me know in the comments who you are looking to buy or sell and who you agree or disagree with in the video. And as always, thank you all for watching, and I'll catch ya in the next one.